Hey, Internet! It's Paul. It's Matt, the Dork Lords. Today, we're talking about episode 7 of Alien Earth Season 1, the episode entitled Emergence. We open with Smee finding Slightly and facehugger Arthur. Slightly convinces Smee to help him get Arthur to the beach, where he and his alien parasite can be transferred to Morrow. Slightly tells Smee that Morrow will let Arthur go after the alien is extracted from him. And because Smee has the mind of a child, he believes him. Sure, it'll all end up great for Arthur. No downside. No follow-up questions. We end with Joe, Nibs, and Wendy reaching the dock, intending to sail away from the island. But they're captured by the island's security forces. Nibs goes on a killing rampage until Joe shoots her, severely damaging her. Wendy feels betrayed by her brother, seeing him as siding with the humans over the synths. The trained xenomorph secretly watches from the nearby tree line, ready to strike at Wendy's signal. All that said, Paul...
Matt?
What'd you think of episode 7 of Alien Earth?
Yeah, they're really getting towards the end of that season. They take penultimate seriously.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I liked how Wendy was getting everything done. I liked when she made the case to Joe, like, would you leave without me? And she said no, she's establishing it. She thinks of them as brothers and sisters, those other synths as brothers and sisters.
Correct. She released the xenomorph. She's furious at her brother for stopping Nibs. She's upset with Boy Cavalier for minimizing Isaac's death. So she's got kind of a get-out-of-my-way humans thing going on right now. And so I feel like the only person that can possibly appeal to her humanity would be Joe, but he's just let her down. Yes. So you're like, okay. She's turning into, villain of the show, but for completely legit reasons. But, villain of the show is kind of where this seems to be heading at the moment.
I guess I hadn't thought of it that way. I feel like
okay. Not to say, Boy Cavalier is a villain, so it's not like, if she's against Boy Cavalier, great. But, she's, summoning the xenomorph to just kill people at random, destroy. Like, okay,
I'm starting to sense here that you have problems with humans dying. That's that was bothered you in the Matrix, and now look at this.
Yes, exactly. Those soldiers they get a paycheck. They're like, what do I got to do? Go to this island, capture some robots? All right, fine. Oh God! Oh, I'm being killed by this. Oh, Jesus!
No one made them. They could have quit. As soon as Nibs pulled the jaw off that one guy, then I think I quit.
Great. There was a great moment in Iron Man 3 where Tony has, he doesn't have his Iron Man suit, but he's like I'm invading the house of the big villain, and he's taking out guys with his engineering skills.
Yes.
And then there's one guy who's like, look, man, I just work here. And Tony lets him go because he's like, oh, I get it. I'm not going to kill everyone just to kill everyone. Unlike Xenomorph and Wendy. Yeah, okay. Let's call her an antagonist as opposed to a villain.
Yeah, and I liked Arthur's final moments.
Oh, man. God, I actually wrote down the line. So it's one of his last lines. It's not the exact last line, but it's like within seconds of him having a chest burster come in, he's like, "You're lying to me because you don't think I'll understand. But the thing is, us who love you, we will understand." Like, oh no! Oh, son of a bitch! Yeah, that was just excruciating. Just waiting for that chest burster shoe to drop.
If it was only his chest could have understood.
Right, exactly. Like, oh no! He chides Smee and Slightly for lying.
Right.
And then he convinces them to return to the lab with him. I think they've
Well,
at that point given up on their plan. I don't think they're like, he'll be dead soon anyway. So it's
I guess
slightly
certainly didn't know that was about to happen.
Yeah.
I think he might have thought that he could maybe tell them about his family or something. He just did not feel as if he had the power to do anything in that moment.
They're holding hands, walking back, and there's a sense of like, if we didn't know, we the audience all know there's a chest burster about to come out of the guy.
Yes.
But like, if not for that, it's like, maybe like this whole thing could be forgotten. I let you get face hugged. Yeah. Look, it looks like you're fine.
Yeah.
I can confide in you, and you're gonna help me save my family. Awesome. Oh no. Oh, that ticking clock thing, the Alfred Hitchcock of it all, where you're like, what was that thing that Alfred Hitchcock talked about?
The box.
There was a bit where Alfred Hitchcock was asked how to like make scenes interesting. Essentially,
I thought it was
I'm forgetting
the
context. For the one I remembered was, if you have two people sitting at a kitchen table talking, it can be a boring scene. But if the audience sees there's a bomb underneath the table, all the things they're saying suddenly sound really interesting. So it's similar to here. Us who love you, we'll always understand. Meanwhile, you're like, oh my God, any second now. Oh, Jesus.
Like, this is the best speech ever.
Right. Like, oh, man.
This rivals everything from Andor.
So, to me, this episode felt like, there was a lot of things going on, obviously, plot-wise and everything, but it did show, I think it was trying to contrast Smee and Slightly and Nibs and Wendy. I feel like Nibs and Wendy realize they're synths and kind of realize they are thus more powerful, certainly physically, than humans.
Yeah.
Wendy has the ability to issue orders to xenomorphs now. She can control electronics with her mind.
Right.
Smee and Smitely still think of themselves as, I think, human kids. Like, they allow themselves to be captured by Morrow and his couple of troops. Like, it doesn't even occur to them that they could pull a Nibs and just beat the living hell out of these guys or run away. They're so fast or whatever. Like, they're just like, yep, okay, you're right. We're just kids. What can we do? So it's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
So where did you think that leads?
What do you mean?
In the arc of those two characters, Smee and Slightly.
I see.
Either like they just die because they're just too... They just refuse to accept that they're not kids. And so they're just, naively pull a Toodles, essentially. Or they grow up, so to speak, and realize they have similar powers to Nibs and Wendy. I don't know. I feel like that's where you're headed.
Yeah, it'll be hard to imagine that the events on the boat will be kept from the both of them. I think they'll learn. And therefore they might have a sense of like, we can do something.
Right.
I guess the Curly is the other person who expressed her wanting to be Cavalier's favorite, and she's like said, "This is the best place I've ever been." And so it makes sense that somebody would take the side of the parents, no matter how abusive they are. Or at least not prioritizing your safety. It's more, self-interested.
Yeah.
Like, you're worth something, but, like, oh, well, you just got killed? Oh, well, I certainly hope. They said that poor Isaac, maybe rebooting is not maybe it's not a strong possibility, but it's a possibility. Mm-hmm. So who knows? How that situation will affect Nibs, and whether she's just merely incapacitated or is that something more serious.
Well, they specifically showed that she had not ceased to function. She was lying down, but her eyes were open. She was like gasping for breath or whatever, but she wasn't deactivated. So I think she's still quote unquote functional at this point, or has, But yeah, I guess it's kind of like being all these Lost Boys, I assume, are going to be forced to make a choice. In other words, are you siding with Wendy? Are you siding with the humans? Are you siding with whoever? What faction are you supporting? And I guess with Curly at the moment, she would be on Team Cavalier, I guess.
Right. And since, I mean, if we're going to take them, if they're going to be as faithful to canon as we think, I feel like the whole thing should not be that successful.
Right. like maybe the events of this show don't get off this island. Maybe.
Right. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. Or maybe Wendy escapes, but they thought she was dead, and who knows what, whether or not Joe makes it off the island or not.
Yeah. I mean, well, to that point, we get the Boy Cavalier. I think it's pretty clear that he wants to put the Octo into Joe. Because he says so Boy Cavalier tests Octo Sheep's knowledge of pi,
right?
And then he's like, I want to have a conversation with it. It's that the obsession to having a conversation.
Right. Yeah.
And then he says he issues orders to Adam to say round up subjects to be implanted. But then he says or maybe it would be better to put somebody in a more common person, or wait, I've got the perfect choice, something like that.
Yeah.
He doesn't say who it is, but it immediately cuts to Joe. It's Joe. That's who he's thinking of.
You're probably right, though, I guess, maybe on the soft list was Arthur.
Yeah. Good point. All right, we just fired him. That'd be a great guy.
It's actually, we think you can offer something to this institution.
No, but I do feel like they cut straight to Joe on that.
No, you're right. I'm sure you're right.
The
I'm not saying you're wrong. I said soft list. So.
Assuming he survives, which I assume he will.
Yeah, because he was.
Remember, he was kidnapped by a xenomorph.
Right. I'm sorry. He was Slightly's first choice too. That's all. It's just.
Oh, right. Great point. Slightly came up to him and was like, "Come with me to get, implanted," and he ended up having a. So you're right. He just had a series of. You should be dead now.
And if this is any indication, maybe it's Cavalier that ends up getting, I
think it's a perfectly valid choice.
Or Adam,
Who is the
or even Dame.
It
could
person.
Be Dame,
Great idea.
So,
She's still there. She's still hanging out.
It's funny, but I feel like if Joe isn't Joe, then Wendy wouldn't have any reason at all to care for him anymore.
Right.
Right now they're at cross purposes, and maybe this is the end of her, attachment to Joe. But I feel like dramatically, it still needs to carry some weight.
Yeah. It needs to carry some weight. We also have that moment where they find their graves, so for Nibs and Wendy, it's like finding but for Joe, it's like this is where my actual sister is buried. I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
This is where her life ended here. This other being that has her memories is over here beside me. But I do feel bad for Smee. He was the one lost boy that seemed at least fairly well adjusted.
Yes.
Things kind of roll off him. All right, what's going on? I just want to go and play.
Yeah.
And
Slightly wasn't bad until he foolishly gave all the information to.
Well, I'm just saying. Once Morrow started getting in his head, he was off on this weird tangent, and he's not well adjusted anymore. I would say Steve's probably not well adjusted anymore either.
No, definitely not. You can't see an alien pop out of somebody's chest.
Yeah,
and be like,
not just somebody who just said, "Hey, I love you," and I'll understand. Oh God! Jesus.
It's like, I know we're robots and everything, but can we get some sort of robot counselor, please?
I will say this, something that just it was an odd cut, I'll just say. So Arthur dies, they search in vain for the little xenomorph baby, and then we kind of have a cut. I don't know if it's an immediate cut or they cut away and then cut back, but when we come back to Smee and Slightly, they have Arthur on a raft.
Yeah.
Did they find it? Surely they didn't make a raft with the short amount of time they had. They were like, we're behind schedule. Yeah. Let's handcraft. They
are robots now, so
they are. Although they had those poles weren't just logs that were trees. They were cut. They had twine that wrapped around. And maybe it would have taken some time.
Maybe they were like, like the Matrix, where it's like they just had that, in the programming.
That's true.
Make
now
raft.
I know kung fu. Now I know raft making. I don't know. There was probably a scene they would just decided, you know what, let's just move on. They have a raft, great, which is fine. But I'm like, it was a little odd to be like, wait, where did they get this raft from? But okay,
yeah. I heard somebody nitpick about. They said they have to be there on time, and then they had time to make a raft. Like,
right.
When they got there, Morrow was just getting there.
Yeah. It's not a crazy idea that there was a raft around on this island, right?
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
You could have had that scene where they find a raft and decide, let's just put it on the raft. But they didn't. But yeah.
Just sit right back in your hero tail.
All right, best line in the episode. It's another Kirsch just comes up with the lines. I mean, they give all the cool lines to him. So I think it's Wendy finding out about Isaac being dead. And so she asks him, she goes, "What happened to Isaac?" "Science." That was great.
Oh, I thought you were going to come up with a line that he had from his confrontation with Morrow.
Right. There were a few good lines in there as well. Now, that all goes to what we were talking about last episode. What are Kirsch's motives?
Yes.
And so it kind of feels like, at least with this, now I don't know about his motives with Toodles, except to say it was science. Like, he was like, hey, it's an experiment. Look at that. He was stupid. Okay. We also did see the sheep, octo sheep, cause the accident by like knocking the sheep. It was surprising.
Yes.
But still, it was, that wasn't a Kirsch thing. So, but when it comes to Kirsch is actively helping Slightly and Smee, like, look, get to the elevators.
Yes.
So I kind of feel like him helping them smuggle Arthur out of the lab was basically to set a trap for Morrow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that was all just part of his plan to be like, I get it. We know the Morrow's coming here to take the stuff, and I'm going to help you do that. So then I can capture some Yutani folks, including Morrow, and get a baby xenomorph out of it.
And you get the definite impression that now that that's concluded, Slightly and Smee, they're just, it's like, okay, you were helpful for that, and now,
right,
before.
Because he tells him, like, you're grounded or something like that.
Right.
Very casual, kind of like for what they just did. They basically, committed treason or whatever you want to call it.
And murder.
And also, let the lab go to hell at the expense of it, too. Like, they had to go and retrap all the aliens.
Yeah.
So, anyway. But, so it's like, it's fine. You did what I hoped you'd do, so good on you. Yeah. Which, again, I feel like there's a shoe to drop there. Where
sure.
Smee and Slightly...
Oh, yes. Yeah. I thought you meant with Morrow. It's like,
Well, sure.
Why you didn't just kill him? I don't know.
He's not going to stay captured by any means.
It's like, while you could, say that Cavalier might have... something to say to Shawnee or whatever, no, you could have just killed him.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, but here's the other thought too: is look at Slightly. It's Smee too in some ways, but particularly Slightly has just been a stooge for various people.
Yes,
through the whole. He was a stooge for Morrow here, and now he's basically a stooge for Kirsch on behalf of Morrow. Yeah. I just feel like at some point he's got to take some agents. There's going to be some moment where Slightly does something. I feel like it's like, no, he's going to say no to something.
Something that should have been mentioned, which wasn't at the time. I mean, the responsible thing for Kirsch to have done is have someone ready to capture or to protect, Slightly's family as soon as they couldn't be warned. Morrow couldn't be warned about going into the trap. So you would want to relieve Slightly of that.
Agreed, because that's really his whole motivation, right?
Even though I believe that they're already dead.
Yeah, that could be. But if you removed that motivation for Slightly, like, look, your parents are safe. It's fine. It would diffuse his whole,
Yeah.
reason for being, betraying people. So,
hey, we got one more episode left, so go ahead and mat. Everybody, you're gonna mat.
I don't know who to mat. I mean, as I say, maybe Smee and Slightly, if they just don't, evolve very quickly, one or both would probably die next episode. But I feel like they're probably gonna, become not like Wendy and Nibs, but maybe somehow realize, oh, we have autonomy. Who would be the most likely to perish? Boy Cavalier is gonna die, but is it next episode?
Yeah.
We know it's not an ending per se. It's not like the ending of. It's not a miniseries,
right?
So it's not that. If it was, then I'd be like, Boy Cavalier, he'll get trashed. Joe's not gonna die. Wendy's not gonna die. At this point, Nibs probably isn't gonna die either because she's come close already.
Yeah, certainly. Wendy has not really thought about. It's like this is a problem.
Okay,
while you could say like, okay, could you be less violent in how you stop these people? Because you can stop them. You don't have to, destroy them.
Right. I mean, the Xenomorph just literally eviscerates everyone on the field. It's like,
yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I'll go with this. If this is not 100% matting, I'm not comfortable that this person will die.
Okay.
But I'm like, I think the best case can be made for Dame. She's going to find out that her recently fired husband, who she didn't side with,
no, she didn't,
died a horrible death.
It was pretty bad.
And she will feel so depressed about that, she'll make some kind of sacrificial act, maybe to help out the synths or something, and die in the process.
Interesting.
That's
okay,
I will go with Dame as you're most likely to be matted.
Okay, all right.
So there you go. All right.
I'm not gonna make you put any candy on it. So
I feel. I know who wants. Can't. What the stakes are so high with that? I mean, I couldn't possibly. Circus peanuts? No. But yes, we'll be back to see if Dame is able to survive episode 8 next time. So thank you as always, Paul. Appreciate it, good sir. And we'll talk to everybody next time.
Bye.
Bye.